Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. This is a simple, short, and sweet announcement. You know that I loathe Donald Trump. He lies and he is delusional. He says that he has won the biggest landslide in presidential history. In fact, he has lost by 2.84 million votes, which is 5 times more votes than anyone ever elected president by the Electoral College has ever lost the actual popular vote. But Donald Trump has proven something, or at least he's indicated a possibility, a faint hope of something. He may be one of the world's great game players. Yes, he doesn't know his facts. Yes, he doesn't take his presidential briefings. No, he doesn't know his history. But when it came to playing the game of the election, Donald Trump won. Why? Because Donald Trump did not primarily pay attention to the popular vote. He intuited what really counted, the electoral vote. All of the pundits felt that the states in which he was concentrating his campaign in the last 2 weeks of the election were absolutely insane. But apparently, Donald Trump was concentrating his efforts in states that would win him the electoral vote no matter how badly he lost in the popular vote. It is that instinctive, gut-level ability to sense the way the game is going and to turn its peculiarities in your favor that makes a great gamesman. Where else do we see games being played in the United States? There is an enormous game being played between China and the United States, a game in which the position as the premier power of the world is at stake. Donald Trump has opened that game with a move that at first seemed strange. That was his call, the first call since 1979, with the head of Taiwan, something that unsettled the relationship with China. His simultaneous move was to let the Chinese know that he's not necessarily going to stick with the one China policy. Those who enter a game and unsettle the enemy often win. The Book of the Five Rings, a book of the ultimate gamesmanship, swordsmanship, in which the loser dies, in Japan, says, enter the room, size up the existing status quo way of thought of your opponent, and strike him in a way he could never expect. Unsettle him. Usually, according to the Book of Five Rings, you strike when the other guy thinks you're just unbuckling your shoes or just taking off your robe. You strike instantly when he doesn't expect to strike at all. It's unsettling the opponent. And people do this in chess. Winning chess players try to unsettle their opponent. In war, unsettling your opponent is particularly important because your opponent's defeat depends on what's called rolling him up, taking him by such surprise that you utterly discourage him and he panics and runs. It's a psychological game. It's an emotional game. There is only one hint that Donald Trump can be good at this kind of gamesmanship. That plus the extent of his holdings, despite the fact that he has bluffed us to the nth degree, promising us to give us his tax returns when he never, ever gave them. He promised that if he were made the presidential candidate of the Republican Party, of course, he said, he would turn over his taxes. He never did, making us think that he's worth $8 to $10 billion when many people suspect that he's worth closer to $1 billion, possibly not even that, because he's carrying $650 million in debt, a huge debt. But the fact remains, there is this one tiny sliver of hope that Donald Trump, for all that he lacks in his conscious, verbal, fact-filled brain, he has something at the gut level that can help this country win in the coming years against Russia and China. China being the really big power we have to watch out for. This is Howard the Humongous speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make, or, want to know why, ask how. Oh, Yes, okay, we're finished with all of those things that come after the Howard the Humongous broadcast. Sorry, I'm a little screwed up here. Okay, now for that sleazy, slimy, infinitely sleazy, sneaky, impossible, subterfuginous off button.